happened every time I said good morning. That would be great. That would be fantastic. My name is Maggie Chapman, and I am co-convener of the party and also a councillor here in Edinburgh. When we last met as conference a year ago in Inverness, I had the privilege of giving the speech which closed conference. And it's a great pleasure to be here to open this weekend and welcome you all to Edinburgh. My job is to set the scene, and I'm going to cover some practical issues first. One very important practical issue, Gavin Corbett. This is Gavin Corbett. Gavin is our main conference organiser and will pop up from time to time with announcements. He's also Green Councillor for this area, so behave. If you've not already registered at the front desk, please do so as soon as you can. From registration, you will receive a badge and a conference handbook. If you are a member, you will also have voting cards, red, white, and green. All members should also have a document called the second agenda. It was emailed to you, but if you don't have a copy, speak to the front desk. One particular thing I need to mention, after conference closes this evening, we have a meal organised in the chapel dining room, which is just round the corner along the corridor. We really need people to book and pay for tickets as soon as possible, so please do so again at registration. Finally, a practical thing about this hall and the space in general. It's great that so many of us are here this weekend, but it means that we are going to need to use every single seat at some points during the weekend. Please move along rows if you can. Don't leave gaps. I'm sure the new members you don't know next to you won't bite too hard. And also, because there are so many of us, make sure you don't lose bags and that kind of thing. But that's the practicalities dealt with. Now, on to politics. This conference marks a huge change in the political context for the Green Party. Our numbers have increased, our profile has increased. We must seize the opportunity for green politics to make a huge difference to Scotland and the world. Given the opportunity to talk about what Greens believe, people are excited, engaged, and want more. We've always been the party that understood that people need a planet to live on. And we are the party that wants a humane social security system. No more benefit sanctions, no more child poverty. At the Edinburgh Greens meeting 3 weeks ago, we had to move venues because we'd outgrown our usual room. We filled the new space, but we needed the original room too, well over 300 people, talking about a green reindustrialisation of Scotland and an end to privatisation, jobs for all, high quality jobs for all, a citizen's income, more powers for communities. On the same night, Glasgow Greens also had an overflowing meeting. All around Scotland, Greens are coming together in unprecedented numbers. Several new members have said that they'd only just realised that the politics they'd always had were green politics. During the referendum, they saw Greens talking about creating a better future, where other parties think that it's enough just to put a bike lane on a £2 billion bridge. We stand for transport for all. Where other parties think a recycling bin in a PFI hospital is green, we realise that you need to build the right hospital in the right way, owned by the public. And I think that this is something all of our new members are agreed on. Green policies for all of the problems we face, not just an add-on about the environment, a totally different way of doing politics. I'm looking forward to meeting old friends, new members, and the new members who've been our old friends all along over the next few days. We have the opportunity to discuss new ways in which we can make our green vision real for people, more power for communities, more power for workers, a £10 minimum wage to tackle the low pay crisis. What we have experienced over the past year has been incredible. The best ever result by the Scottish Greens in the European election Sadly, just not enough to elect our first MEP. But I must thank you all of you who worked so hard to help us do so well in May. In the past year, we have seen an unprecedented transformation in the quality and quantity of political debate, a real desire to transform Scotland, and I hope an end to the cynical politics of corporate-controlled, visionless neoliberalism that we have suffered for the past 20 years. Now is the time for radicals, and we are at the radical heart of Scottish politics. So, what is to be done? We have the opportunity to transform the Scottish Parliament, more powers over taxation, so we can have a wealth tax, a land value tax. We can redistribute wealth. We are seeking controls over the full range of powers so we can reindustrialise Scotland, a green reindustrialisation, showing we can create an equal society based on renewable energy, good jobs and stronger communities. A Scotland that plays its role in making the world a better and safer place. By just giving more powers to the Scottish, but just giving more powers to the Scottish Parliament won't be enough. We have to share those powers with the Scottish people. Our proposals will give not just more powers to Holyrood, they are for more powers for all of us. We have our challenges, a Westminster election next year where we need to make the case for a better Scotland. I know only too well how difficult it can be to be heard in an election like this. That's why it's great we already have some excellent candidates lined up. Whatever happens, we must make an impact in this election, and we are well placed to do just that. The reason many of us backed independence is that Westminster controls swathes of our lives. Having a green voice in Westminster is more vital now than ever before. We stand a very good chance of winning a substantial number of seats in Holyrood in 2016, but we don't exist just to win seats in elections. We have to communicate our message. That for too long, big business has subverted our democracy. That people and planet must come before profit. That democracy is vital, not just in the form of a vote every 4 or 5 years, but in more local democracy, more workplace democracy, and more control over every aspect of our lives. We have a great weekend ahead of us, but what matters is not so much what happens in this hall, although that's important. What matters is that we create a better Scotland from communities up. We fight for more powers. We must stand up to the corporate bullies. We must work to change government, and we must build a fairer country in a fairer, better world.